The New York Times.
The New York Times.
The New York Times.
The first major American media company
To sue over AI.
It's filing a federal lawsuit today against the maker of ChatGPT
For copyright infringement.
Claiming they are using the Times' copyrighted work to train their chatbot.
And the theory of liability is that to train the AI using copyrighted material, and that copyrighted material is the New York Times intellectual property. Their columns, their pieces, all of their content is copyrighted material that is for sale. So the argument is, by training AI using this huge database of copyrighted material, and it's impossible essentially to separate what they are digesting from what they're putting out. The notes you make on that paper today are theoretically copyrightable.
Owned by NBC. They're
yes,
owned by NBC.
Exactly right. So many people have copyrights. The New York Times, if they're successful, that means that arguably AI would have to go out, these companies would have to go out and find all these owners of copyright, wherever they may be, in a log cabin somewhere in Alaska, and pay them. And that would mean the end of the future of artificial intelligence, if that were the case. If it is a copy of the Times content, then you've got a problem.
Yes.
And
that's
some
a
of the
copyright
exhibits
infringement.
the Times included had verbatim output
case.
examples from their article.
But then that creates a secondary issue, which is why? Is that a product of the AI committing a form of copyright infringement, or is that the user saying, hey, spit out something that is written like this particular writer for the Times, and oh, here is a first paragraph for you to base it on. If it is simply churning out something that is inspired by the writers and the other copyrighted material it's digesting, then not only is that not a violation, that's kind of what copyright law has always envisioned, that we would learn stuff. In fact, the words coming out of my mouth today, I learned by reading copyrighted material by law professors, who I will not pay a dime for the information that I got, and I am now regurgitating to you.
Yeah, of course, you get to train these AI models with a ton of data, but isn't it the same thing we do when we go to school? Aren't we trained on many, many books, and aren't we trained on our professors' lessons? You don't infringe copyright when you do the training part, as long as you digest the information and you process the information, adding probably your own piece of knowledge on top of it. You're not committing a copyright infringement, I believe.
The Times claims the company's trained artificial intelligence by using its news articles without paying for them.
This is a get out the popcorn moment. It's just the start in terms of...
Analysts say media wants a share of tech revenue.
AI is data-driven. It's content creator-driven. It's the biggest tech transformation since the start of the internet. And the content providers, they don't want to be on the outside looking in. And that's why this is an important case going in 2024.
In the past, the company promised to protect clients from lawsuits.
We will step in and defend our customers and pay the costs incurred if you face legal claims around copyright infringement.
Though OpenAI itself is seeing other lawsuits from high-profile Hollywood stars and authors over copyright, and experts say AI couldn't make anything on its own.
I think we really need to understand how much this is a kind of reanimation of many, many thousands of humans' own creativity that's trying to be captured by OpenAI and then sold for a profit.
This is actually not true, because it has been demonstrated that through the process of hallucinations, AI can actually generate newly crafted content. This has been demonstrated so many times. For example, look at the newly released architecture from DeepMind, Fan Search. It has just discovered new solutions to the capset problem in math. This is not the only case. I mean, one can even make the point that generative AI is an hallucination machine. So it's a machine capable of extreme creativity through the hallucination process. You can even think at one extreme, search engines, and to the other extreme, generative AI. If search engines are just a data retrieving system, you can think of generative AI as just creating new data. There is this major stream of research that is all about controlling hallucination from AI. Many users actually get angry when they try to retrieve some specific data, like when they ask, for example, very factual information, and you get the AI to make up the answer. If you think about it, this is pretty normal, because search engines are engines made for retrieving data and being factual, because they don't have creativity, they just have to retrieve data. While from AI you expect creativity. It's totally not true that AI is just digesting data data and then distilling the data it has digested.
They're basically alleging that the AI companies are taking this gigantic pile of copyrighted material. I don't think the defendants will even dispute the fact that their AI programs are scanning or scouring or digesting this huge set of that material. I don't think that's much in dispute.
Yeah, I don't think it's in dispute either, because these AI models are actually trained on basically the whole internet, and I don't think this is a copyright violation. I read the New York Times and I read articles from other media sources too. This doesn't make me violating their copyright. If I copy and paste, basically, if I report the same news in the same way, using the same words, in that case, of course, I'm violating the copyright. From a technology maker perspective, of course, you want to build AI models that are resistant to this kind of behavior. But if the AI model can actually generate a new piece of information, can generate a new article with new insights, original insights, this is not different from a journalist that went to journalism school, learned how to be a great journalist, and read so many articles from so many authors, and then can create new original content, and nobody can say they're violating some sort of copyright.
When you think about it, what these companies are doing are exactly what you and I do. In fact, the legal stuff that I talk about today, the words that come out of my mouth, are from me reading copyrighted materials by law professors on this topic and then spitting it out as my own without crediting them and without paying them a dime, even though I consumed their copyrighted materials.
Exactly. It's not in the process of consuming the content that you violate the copyright. It's in the process of reporting the same content to somebody else that you violate the copyright. This is the difference.
AI can churn out content, and it can be remarkably close to the original content, and nobody's going to be compensated for that.
Yeah, and that kind of behavior, of course, should be removed from these AI applications, because if you report the same piece of information, the source of the information should be at least being informed and being compensated for it.
And then you get into secondary issues of who's really doing the copyright violation. Is it the program, or is it the human asking the program to commit a copyright violation? So it's really about, is the user the violator or the program itself, the machine?
Nobody will go after the users. Nobody. So, of course, it's the machine that should be controlled. The machine will be, of course, the one who should be subjected to control and to fines if found any copyrighted content being generated.
And a whole industry swings in the balance.
It does, and that's why I think ultimately the Times has to lose. Whether the court says it out loud or not, this is about progress. If the Times wins, progress, AI progress, loses.
If the New York Times wins, AI loses. This is for sure. This is a very interesting battle. What actually annoys me is the fact that news companies have actually a huge opportunities in front of them right now. They shouldn't waste their time in suing Microsoft or OpenAI, because there is not even the smallest chance of winning this battle for them. As long as the AI is capable of generating original content, even inspired from previous generated ones, it's fine. It's incredibly useful because you are generating new perspectives. It's a service to the community that should be promoted and not demonized.